Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about the basics of Farming Simulator 22. To start with, you have three different maps. You have Elm Creek, you have Hout Baileron, and you have Erlengrot. We're going to first take a look at Elm Creek and give it a tour to help you decide which map to start off with. Alright, you can take the guided tour if you want, or you can skip the guided tour, since I'm going to be touring the map. Okay, for this map, you start off with your basic tools and this basic layout right here. You have your silo, you have a barn, you have a parking garage, and you have your basic house. And you have three fields. You have a field here, a field right here, and a field right over there. That's your basic farm. As far as the map goes, you can see it's a pretty standard map. Various different fields to choose from. You have various different production points as well. All the maps should have roughly the same production points. The only differences are the layout of the map with the fields, and this is one map you can choose from. I'll be touring the other two maps here in a second, but this is what you would start off with when you start this map, and this is the map that I first started with when I first started FS22. I personally moved on from this farm here, and I bought these fields over here, and I expanded my farm. I even started combining some of these fields, but that's a little bit more advanced and we'll talk about that in another video. But for now, just trying to help you decide which map to start, I am going to take a flight around this map, just so you can kind of get an idea of which map to start. As you can see, this is a decently flatter map. There's some hillier stuff over there in the north, which I'll head over to in a second. And my first test map that I used this field for most of my testing purposes, but I created a test map that I've been using. So let's go north to where I told you there was some hillier stuff. This map is a pretty decent map for beginners. Well, all three maps are actually pretty decent. But this map's probably the more beginner friendly. See, here you have some hills, just not many fields on these hills. You have a field right here, right there. But it's all pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at the other maps. Okay, here is Hout Baileron, and here's your house. There's a parking shed and a hayloft. You have your silo back here. You even have a silage bunker right here. And let me look at the map to see which fields. You have this field right here. Pretty decently sized field. and then you also own number 41 right here, and you own right here. This is a little bit more of an advanced start than the first map, but it's still fairly straightforward and fairly decent for beginners as well. The fields are a bit bigger on this one to start with. So, and the only real difference between the first map and this map is you start with a hayloft and a silage bunker and bigger fields. Now, as far as what the map layout looks like, as you can see, it's again pretty straightforward. You start off down here in the bottom right corner, and you have all these various fields. Let's take a quick run around to see what it looks like from an aerial view. As you can see, if you wanted a really bigger field, you could combine these fields here into one bigger field. And if you can't tell, this has a little bit more hillier terrain. Still not as hilly as I like, but I prefer mountainous terrain like the Alps. But that's just me personally. As you can see, this is still a fairly normal map. You have a BGA right over there with its own bunkers that you also get to use if you buy this BGA. And there's some hillier terrain up north again here. You have a little town right over there, if you and you have some hillier terrain here. And if you like logging, there's some decent areas to log here. Not that many, but there's some. So whichever one of these two maps you like is up to you. Let's take a look at the third map. Now, this is the more advanced of the three maps, Erlengrad. Here you have animals. Don't you just love it when they move? Anyway, you have your basic house, you have a parking garage, you have animals here. You have a place where you can get water right here. You have a workshop here with diesel tank, a slurry storage right here, a silage bunker, a silo, and more parking. As far as fields, as far as which fields we own with this map, it does not look like there is any fields that are owned, so you do not own any fields to start with. And as you can tell, there's not many fields on this map to purchase. You only have a very few number of fields, but this is also a very hilly map. If you wanted more fields, you'll have to buy the land and make more fields. It's like right here, you could theoretically make a field if you plowed it and created a field. But this map doesn't have very many fields. It does, however, supposed to have more logging opportunities. Or was that the last map? Can't remember. I think that was the last map. But this map is more, as you can tell, more animals oriented, with not as many fields. if you like animals, this is actually a decent map. With the other maps, if you wanted to do animals, you'd have to place the animal pens yourself. Whereas this one, they at least start you off with a cow pen. But yeah, as you can tell, this is actually a more forestry or logging oriented map as well. So you can tell there's trees all over the place you can chop down. They're a bit spread out, but it's still pretty decent for logging. Me personally, if I played this map, I'd probably put a bunch of fields in between here and have some pretty big fields. But that was Erlengrot, a bit more animal oriented, so it's a bit more advanced in my opinion. If you're new to Farming Simulator, then I'd suggest one of the first two maps. So that was the first three maps. Whichever one you choose is up to you. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about the basics of getting started. I am going to talk about getting started on the first map. So we're going to be talking about the basics. So you can click on that. I'll put that on the screen here somewhere. And so thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And leave me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. I'm doing a good job. Let me know if I'm doing a bad job. Tell me. If I'm annoying, let me know. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.